There are at least 8 legal forms sitting in a folder at your county office right now that can stop, lower, or permanently freeze the property tax bill you pay every single year. 8 forms. And before I go one sentence further, I have to clear up the single biggest misunderstanding about this topic, because it's the exact reason most people who legally qualify never file a single one of them. People assume a video like this is only for one kind of homeowner. Either they think it's only for low-income retirees who are struggling. So if your house is paid off and life is comfortable, you tune out. Or they assume it's only for wealthy people with big estates and accountants on retainer. So if you're living mostly on Social Security and a small pension, you tune out too. And a third group tunes out for a different reason entirely. You're under 65, you're living with a disability, and the moment you hear senior exemption, you assume this whole video is about retirement age and has nothing to do with you. All 3 groups are wrong, and honestly, it goes even further than that. Some of you are thinking, my house is paid off, so the tax doesn't really hurt. It does. It's the single biggest recurring bill you will ever pay on a home you already own outright. The county doesn't care that your mortgage is gone. They send the bill anyway, every single year, for as long as you live there. Some of you are renting right now, and you're thinking none of this touches you. It does, because your landlord is paying that property tax bill, and your landlord is passing it straight to you, a little at a time, in your rent. When that bill drops for the owner, your rent stops climbing the way it has been. So this is for every one of you. Whether your home sits at $85,000 in a small town in Ohio, $260,000 in a mid-sized city in Arizona, or $520,000 in a county in California that just got reassessed, there is real money on this list with your name already on it. And I'm going to tell you on every single form exactly which group it helps the most, so that nobody watching this video gets to the end and says, well, that one wasn't for me. Because the honest truth is, homeowners at every single income level, every single age, and every single ability status are quietly overpaying, just in different ways, for different reasons, on different lines of the bill. Here's the brutally simple reason almost nobody talks about these forms. Your county tax assessor's office is funded directly by the taxes that office collects. Every single dollar of exemption they approve is $1 their own budget doesn't see next year. So think about what that actually means. The county has zero financial incentive to tell you about a form that lowers what you owe them. They don't call. They don't mail you the senior exemption application on your 65th birthday. Your mortgage company doesn't flag it on your statement. The title company that closed your purchase never mentioned it. And the realtor who sold you the house, the one who made a commission off the sale, absolutely never brought it up either. And here's the number that should make this land. The average property tax bill in this country runs somewhere around $4,800 to $5,000 a year, depending on where you live. In some counties in New Jersey and Illinois, it's well over $8,000. For a homeowner who's 65 today and lives another 20 years in that house, that's somewhere between $96,000 and $160,000 walking out the door over the rest of your life on a bill that, for a meaningful share of you watching, should legally be cut in half, or in some cases, brought down to zero. What I do on this channel is take the parts of the tax code and the benefits system that are written in language built to be skimmed past and translate them into something you can actually act on this week. Property tax exemptions are maybe the cleanest example I've ever come across of a benefit that already exists, that the law already promises you, and that simply sits there unclaimed because the system was never built to advertise it. So here's the plan for the next 20 minutes. I'm going to walk you through 8 forms, one at a time, in plain English, 5 that almost every state offers in some shape, and 3 that almost nobody has ever heard of, that I went digging for specifically because I noticed every other video on this topic skips them. And then near the end, I'm giving you 2 things that, as far as I can tell, exist in no other video covering this, a real month-by-month calendar of when to file each one and exactly what to do the moment the county denies your application. Because a denial is not the end of the story, even though most people treat it like one. Here's the single idea that ties this entire video together, so hold on to it. Being legally exempt from a tax bill and actually not paying that bill are two completely different things. The law does not refund you automatically. Nobody at the county mails you a check out of kindness. You have to know the form exists, and you have to be the one who walks in and files it. That is the entire reason this video exists. Let's start fixing it right now. Form number 1 is the homestead exemption. And I need you to really sit with this one, because it's the form most homeowners are completely sure they already have on file, and a huge share of them don't. Nearly every state in the country offers some version of it on your primary residence. What it does is take a chunk of your home's assessed value off the table before the county ever runs the math on your bill. In Florida, that chunk is $50,000. In Georgia, it's a smaller $2,000, but stacked with other exemptions, it adds up. Here's one most people in the Midwest don't know. In Ohio, the homestead exemption can knock roughly $26,000 off your home's market value for the purposes of the tax calculation. And in Arizona, certain counties allow a similar reduction tied to income limits. And in Texas, this is the one I want you to pay close attention to because it just changed and almost nobody has caught up to the new number yet. For years, the Texas School District Homestead Exemption sat at $100,000. As of the 2026 tax year, under a law approved by Texas voters in November 2025, that exemption jumped to $140,000. If the last number you remember hearing for Texas was $100,000, that number is now out of date, and you are very likely leaving $40,000 of exempted value on the table without doing a single thing wrong. You just haven't been told the number moved. Every single state does this differently, but every single state, this is real money. And here's where it trips people up. In some states, it's applied automatically the moment you buy the house. In most states, it is absolutely not. You have to file a one-page form with the county appraisal office almost always before a deadline that lands somewhere in the spring, commonly April 30th. Miss it, and you pay the entire bill that year with no exceptions. File it once correctly, and in many states, it stays attached to that property for as long as you own it. One piece of paper filed one time can mean hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars off your bill every single year for the rest of your life in that home. Now, here's who this helps, and the answer is everyone, just differently. If you're a lower income homeowner, that $50,000 exemption in Florida or that $140,000 exemption in Texas can knock a third or more straight off your bill. And if you're a comfortable retiree sitting on a home that's nearly doubled in value over the last several years, the homestead exemption is also your gateway. Because in most states, the county will not let you apply for the senior exemption, the freeze, the deferral, or the circuit breaker until your homestead is already on file. So if you take exactly one action after watching this video, make it this. Call your county appraisal office tomorrow morning and ask, word for word, is the homestead exemption currently on file for my property in my name? If the answer is no, your very next question is which form adds it and what the deadline is. That was the warm-up. Form number 2 sits directly on top of it, the senior or age 65 exemption. Most states that offer a homestead also offer a second separate exemption that switches on the year you turn 65. And this is the one the county will almost never proactively send you. It's a different